Hey everybody, I'm Stenver from Denver, because it's easy to remember. Actually, I'm from Estonia, but it's just a mnemonic. So, NFTs and concentrated liquidity and real-world assets on-chain can have a massive impact in solving our climate change challenges and a lot of other liquidity challenges our world has. But this talk is going to be like quite technical, so bear with me. I'm going to talk about some big issues that are happening on-chain and how the next level of transformation is basically happening in the next few years. So blockchain really excels at making things liquid. By liquid, I mean that people can very easily trade them. They can very easily fractionalize and share ownership. And create new markets that were inaccessible for most people before, unless you had like a huge amount of money. To create these markets, there's something called Uniswap that many of you have probably been using. And on Uniswap, there's a great function called concentrated liquidity, which basically lets you like create really efficient markets with actually very limited capital and create new markets. But the narrative around liquidity provisioning and creating these markets is currently that it's not profitable. And it's not profitable because there's something called impermanent loss. If you're providing liquidity, then you will always be left holding the bag, whichever way the market goes. And yeah, usually the income comes from trading fees. It comes from incentives that the project pays out. But quite often it's not enough to cover these losses. But I want to tell you that that narrative is not true for real-world assets. Because the main reason impermanent loss kills you is that crypto-native assets are highly volatile assets. You can easily have like 10x movements in 24 hours, and then indeed you will be left holding the bag. But real-world assets are way more stable. So currently, real-world assets in general are very unexplored area, and concentrated liquidity is another very unexplored area. And there's a lot of articles and thought leadership going around how the next wave will be about real-world assets on-chain. Concentrated liquidity with like fractionalized NFTs will be the key to bringing those real-world assets on-chain and creating these new markets. But by providing the liquidity, the people who make sure the market is liquid, it's a public good. They're doing everybody else a favor. They're essentially letting you get ownership to these assets in very easy manner. So they need to be paid for this service because they have opportunity cost. They're putting cash on the table, and whoever is creating these new markets needs to figure out how to get pay these players. And NFTs in general, I think we're just getting started with them. Currently, they're mainly used for art, but there's a lot of companies out there which are using NFTs as infrastructure pieces, which are putting houses on NFTs, forests on the land, reforestation efforts, building solar parks. All these different initiatives are all going around the world. And we're putting the stuff on NFTs, we're fractionalizing the NFTs, we're making them liquid, and suddenly people that could never dream of building or owning a solar park or helping a reforestation cause can very easily do it through the blockchain technologies and concentrated liquidity that's going on there. So without getting too deep into it, what it really means is that you're taking some assets, let's call the asset A like reforestation effort in Brazil, and asset B like a reforestation effort in like India, for example. You can put those efforts on NFTs. You can fractionalize the impact they have. Let's say they do revenue, or maybe they do carbon credits, or there's something else that they provide. And you can start putting those assets that they generate together into one token. So this basically is a liquid token that can be traded on the blockchain. And it basically is like a treasury where all these tokens are put together, and it creates a circulating supply where people can buy and sell it and redeem the underlying credits. Or redeem, like, let's say, the forest land. So there's land stewardship efforts going around in the world. These are super exciting things that I see happening in the ecosystem. I'm personally working on Solid World, which is using the exact same mechanisms to finance new climate projects all around the world. And basically, we're making new markets exist that currently do exist, but they're only accessible to big trading houses who have billions of dollars, and they can do private OTC deals. But suddenly now everybody will be able to access those deals. So yeah, if we use these technologies correctly, if we use NFTs, we fractionalize them, we pull them together into like a liquid treasury, we put a price tag on it that people can trade on, we make sure people can take these assets on the blockchain and take them off blockchain so they can get the real ownership in the real world as well. We can create new markets that didn't exist before or that have only existed in the hands of very few. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Cool.
Thank you very much.